Hello and welcome to another video looking at Adobe Dimension. This time we're going to look at some fun stuff to do with text. So we're going to put our text in and we're going to look at basically how to break apart text. That's kind of an interesting topic, right? So we're going to call it text. We're going to call it that. Now to break apart text, how is that done? Well, Control Shift A and press F. Now, what we want to do with the text is to be able to select it and change the colors of it, right? So if we look at what we've actually got, if we go into the text here, you go into the text, you see you basically get the side, the face, the bevel, and the back, right? So for instance, if I change the face color here, we're going to change the different colors of the face color. And the same for the various different sections, right? Go back to the text and we'll change the depth there a little bit. All right, so how do we actually break apart the text so you can use it individually? Well, what you can do is you've got this button here, which is basically convert to standard model. What does that do? Well, we clicked it. We look in this text folder, you can see we've got 5 glyphs. Now each glyph is going to select each different letter in the text, right? Now you may think that is basically the end of it and you can just go into the glyphs and then change the colors how we want, but it's actually not. So let's have a look why that is not the case. Right, so we're going to go into glyph 1 and we've got 3 materials here, right? We've got 4 in fact. So we've got and let's try changing this then. See what happens when we change the color of this. So you see this one is obviously corresponding to the depth there. And it's doing it for the whole lot, but we did it in glyph 1. So why is that happening? It's because it's basically still linked. It's still linked there, right? So what if we want to change the color for just the W, for example? So basically we'll select one, and this time instead of just changing the color, we'll do break link to material. And you'll notice it actually goes all the way to the bottom there. So the ordering in the menu is kind of like interesting. And you can see it's changing here. So let's just go through everything. It does kind of pull you out of it. But basically, as long as you just go through the list, there's only 3 there now, which I think is what it's supposed to be, which is front, back, and side, basically. It's like, well, it's front, back, and exterior, I guess, in the 3D space. So we'll go to default material 2, break link. And obviously, if at any point I didn't press break link, it would do the whole lot. So if you don't want that, you have to do it this way, right? And do that. And what's next? In glyph 1, go into it, and we'll just do the last one here. And that one again has moved itself to the bottom for some reason. And if we just take a look around the back there, whatever you get the idea. Basically, that I'm able to. I should do a different color. Really. So we've basically been able to, cover the entire thing: the front, the back, and then anything else, basically the exterior there, right? All right, let's go back to the beginning bit. So I would recommend it's probably a good idea to choose your text first, because I notice you can't really change the text once you start doing a lot of these things. What we're going to do this time is go in a completely different route, but show you a similar sort of thing, but maybe in a little bit more detail. And this is actually going to be interesting for a number of other things potential. So this is actually something that I just randomly found out, just because of the letter Y in there, right? So we converted to this, right? All right, let's go through that procedure again then, right? So again, if we look at text, we're going to get the side faces here, side face, and the regular stuff that we get, right? But we want to look at glyph 3, so we need to break it apart, convert to a standard model. And we're going to look at glyph 3 in a little bit more detail. Now, glyph 3 is interesting with regards to the magic wand tool. That's because there's a gap here. Now, I mean, your experience may vary, but I have a feeling also with architectural fonts, it may be possible to do what I'm about to do. So let's look at, let's do glyph 3 here. Now, with glyph 3, you can see we've got all these default materials and the same thing. If I change one, it will change the whole lot. But if I press to break apart, no problem, right? But there's actually something even further that you can go with here, right? And that is actually the selection tool. So we're looking here, you can see that you actually do get the ability. So you get a lot of selections, right? So for instance, if we look on this, let's just look at this end piece here, see if I can get a good position around it. You see, I'm going to have a bunch of different selections here. I've got this one, I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get 4 selections on each of the pieces, right? If I wanted it. So that's pretty handy, right? So what if we change the material for each of those? What actually happens in the scene panel? Well, let's have a look. So if a small, let's just do some material stuff. So we'll do some of these ice. And I'm showing with a font which is not really a font, but potentially this could also work with other fonts. And then we'll select this bit. And we'll change that to gelatin. So how's the internal structure of this going to look now? Well, interestingly, what's happened is we've still got our things here, right? So from this perspective, right? For example, if we left it linked to the whole wider text, let's see if I can. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can show this. Yeah, you can see it actually. So you see, I can actually change this while having so I can change the whole lot while having quite a unique pattern on this particular piece, right? And what's interesting is because you're sort of changing the same thing twice, sometimes I think it sort of applies some kind of tint or something.